Hey guys, what's up? It's LegendBTV. I'm finally back, guys. I know I haven't uploaded in a week and a half now, and I'm so sorry, guys. I've just been super incredibly busy. You know, as school wraps up and stuff, that I've been just like, incredibly busy with all kinds of events, and this is one of them. This is one we're talking about today. This is my concert diary for the Don't Worry About Me tour by Zara Larsson. And no, this is not turning into Zara Larsson, the Stan account. No, this is my tradition, my ritual. You know, every time I go to a concert, I usually just like to make a concert diary about it. So, let me do me, boo, alright? Yeah, I went to go see Zara Larsson the other night, and it was really something that I was just in shock about. I was amazed. I was shook to death, and you already know. But let's back up. Let's back up to 2 months ago when the tickets were coming out, right? So naturally, I was a little worried that I was not going to be able to go. When I did see that the dates for the U.S. tour were incredibly limited, she was only going to play 8 cities. And they were rather big ones, too. And me, coming from a small town, you know, my family's not really all for big cities a lot. But still, I was like, what the heck? And I asked a friend if she wanted to go with me, and she was like, yeah. She was like, let's do this. And so I talked to my parents and everything about that. And, you know, my dad was like, do you have parent supervision, right? And I was like, because I didn't at the time, and I was just like, well, I'm sure her mom would be able to drive me, so... yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, yeah, I got parent supervision. And he's like, all right. So at first I was like, really? I mean, you know, really? You're going to let me do that? I was like, ah! So then fast forward to the next day, I talked to my friend, right? And she's like, nah, dog. She's like, then I find out my friend's mom is not driving me, right? So then I was just like, oh. I assume, you know, my parents would be all right with that still, right? So I get home, and naturally they're not. And this starts the huge chain of events that really led me to almost not being able to see this show and pretty much ruining my life. But yeah, so my parents said that, I had to have an adult driver, and they didn't really, want to go, so I had to find somebody completely different. So I started asking, like, people like, you know, my grandparents, people I knew well and stuff, or close friends, and... every one of them said no because of something. I don't know if it was like work or they just didn't want to go or whatever. But every one of them was like, nah, dog, you ain't going. You will never see your queen. And I was like, bet. Well, like, bet, son. So there's a lot of horrific, you know, family issues from the fact that, a lot of them didn't want me going all the way up to Chicago just with my friend. And a lot of that stuff is a lot of jibble-jabble, a lot of blabba-blue, a lot of bleep-bleep-bleep, you know. A little bit of blippity-moo-moo in the house, you know. Until finally, we cut to around 2 weeks from the show, right? So it was about 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, ooh, stuff was getting heavy. It was like, oh God, the concert's in 2 weeks. Like, there's been many threats of my family just to shut it down, and, you know, my dad would be all like, yo, son, sell those tickets, man, sell those tickets. Just get your money back, man, forget about the show. And I was like, nah, I was like, you messing with the real G, man. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. I was like, you've seen my poster on the wall. I'm like, and you know, I'm assuming you've seen some of my videos, Dad. I mean, I'm not missing this show, is what I'm saying. So I mentioned him letting me take a Uber, whatever car to the program. At first he was like, hell nah. But after a while I was like, nah, dog, it's alright. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he starts going, he keeps like going back and forth because, you know, he's worried. He's a very overprotective guy, and I really am thankful for that. I'm like, that's great and all, but just not in this case, because I wanted, you know, to be able to go see this show. But you know what that meant for me? That meant that I had to keep fighting and fighting in order to want to go to this show. Not physically, because, I mean, squishy, but... you know, what that meant was your boy just really had to just keep pushing because, like, you know what I mean? This isn't just, like, you know, some Standish thing. This was, like, a goal that I wanted to achieve. Plus, I already had prepaid for the tickets, so, I mean, he's not just going to say no to me for no reason. I didn't do anything wrong. You know, like, I was a good kid. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't steal chicken fries from Burger King. I didn't throw albino jumping jacks at my mom's donkey. I didn't do any of that stuff. But I tell you what I did do. I stayed determined because, you know, after 2 months, after 2.5 months, after 3 months of having to wait and, you know, be like, yes, you're going, no, you're not going, yes, you're going. Finally, 'twas the night before Zara Larsson. Now, this night was terrible, but not too terrible, just mildly terrible. So my family was arguing because, of course, like, they were nervous as heck as me, you know, because, like, they were all like, you ain't going, son. And I was like, Before I went on my little rant, I was like, y'all should get a record label to come sign you guys. Like, y'all some good yellers, you know? Jokes aside, though, I was really upset because, like, yeah, they were just like, nah. They were like, no, your friend's not going. You and your friend are not going up to Chicago by yourselves with an Uber. Because, you know, like, the original plan was to have me and my friend go to the concert while my mom stays at the hotel. Because, I mean, we only had 2 tickets. So, yeah, they were about to be like, no. When all of a sudden, like, in the midst of all that arguing, I got a Snapchat from my friend saying that she couldn't go. You know, because of some issues and stuff, which we won't be discussing in this video. So I literally dropped the phone like this. Oh no, I almost broke one of my mom's glasses! Ah! But it's okay. But yeah, I was in such despair because I was like, oh, now who's gonna go with me? And I was like, I guess my ma could take me. So I asked about that and he was like, yo, that's a lot safer and better of an idea. Why not? Go ahead. And I was like, no way. Because I was like, that meant that I was going to see the Queen, Zara Larsson, on tour. And I was like, alright, sure. Yeah, okay. Literally on the way to the show, I was so freaking hyped. Like, the ride there was, like, literally just so much fun. But the most important part was what happened once I got there. So I get to the House of Blues Center in Chicago, where this place is at, right? And it's this really nice, fancy-ish type restaurant. It had a really cool atmosphere, too. You know, they had, like, the Blues Brothers on a bench and whatever, and, you know, bugs in the sink. You know, I lied about that last part. This is a fancy joint, remember? Pay attention. But yeah, I gave him the ticket, you know, whatever. I mean, like, I was one of, like, maybe, you know, I was, like, the only person who had, like, these, like, gigantic physical tickets. I was, like, the only person who had these gigantic physical tickets while everybody else was just, like, scanning their phone. I mean, it's a small detail. Like, nobody pointed it out. It was just kind of funny. When I got to the part where the stage was, where the Queen was about to stand in about an hour and a half, I noticed it was a standing venue, which of course, like, the tickets did say standing venue, and I figured since stan is, you know, 80% of the letters in stand, I would be able to be capable of doing that. So yeah, I was alright with standing. But I didn't know that it was just like, you know, placeholder, like, the tickets were placeholder seats, and it was just like basically first come, first serve in terms of where you got to stand. But that's how it was, and literally I felt like I paid 4 times the price of what the tickets should have costed, because, yeah, I paid around $100, and really you could get tickets for as cheap as $25, so. But it was worth it, though, yeah, like, I was already kind of bummed that I got, like, you know, not as good of a view as I would have liked. I mean, and no, my view wasn't bad. I was, like, you know, there was only, like, say, 3 or 4 rows of people covered up by the time I got there. Then again, of course, your boy wanted to be firsties. Your boy wanted to be, like, front row middle, you know what I'm saying? But it's alright. It's alright, though. Then your boy noticed he's got a tinkle, you know? And I was just like, I was like, rats, what am I going to do if I leave? People are going to take my place. And I was like, no, I'm staying here, you know? She didn't come on for, like, another almost 2 hours, right? So I was sitting there 2 hours full of urine, and I was like, oh, God. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, like, nobody else was moving, too, so that sucked. I couldn't, like, jack anybody else's spot, you know, that sucked. So then, yeah, you know, then Astrid, the opening act, came out, and I was, like, really excited, because she did really good. Like, I really did dig her live vocals, and she was just some fun. Like, she was a decent amount of fun. I really liked her in general. That's about really all I have to say, but she was a lot of fun. Then I'm waiting around, and, like, at this point, I'm alone. Like, you know, like, my mom didn't want to stand with me, because she's like, nah, forget that. So she went to the back, you know, where there was chairs that you had to pay, like, big money for. So, yeah, psych, yeah, she thought she'd pay big. Yeah, like, literally, they were renting stools that costed so much money, and I was like, nah. She was like, nah, dog, I'm just gonna stand back here. It's all right. And then, literally, yeah, literally, you would see smoke coming out, and, like, everybody was going crazy. And I was kind of glad at this point that I did, you know, have, like, kind of, you know, not the front row up seat. Because there were some really cool people that I did, you know, share the concert experience with. I mean, you know, like I've said many times to many other people, like, they're not friends that I'm going to, you know, like, I didn't get their numbers or Snapchats or anything. They're not, like, friends. They're concert comrades, if you will. You know, people you kind of just, you know, dance, you know, you do the boogie all night long with. You know, sing a little dee-doo-doo-doo, dee-da-da-da, that's all I want to say to you. Yeah, some cool people to my left and right, you know, I would kind of just, like, chat to them sometimes, and we would be like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, you know, this is the best moment of our life, you know, this is where our life peaks. But yeah, mainly the show was just an absolutely phenomenal time. I mean, everything about it was just flawless. And then Ruin My Life came on, and it was a combination of, you know, me dancing my underpants off, and also just me crying too, because, like, you know, there's, like, the emotional part of the song, like, the first time the chorus hits, and then there's, like, the drop kind of, like, you know, part where everybody was, like, dancing. Everybody was chanting the words too. Like, that just, you know, think about the emotion. Think about, like, how victorious, like, I must have felt, because I was like, oh my god, I am seeing this live. Like, I literally was like, you know, before she came on, because, of course, like, you know, she was running fashionably late, because, yeah, you know, she's supposed to be on at, like, 8:15, and she was there at, like, 8:30, and I was like, smuh. But no, I'm kidding. Like, I would never smuh the queen, but, you know, I was like, girl, you a little late, but alright, it's worth it. Like, I was just like, you know, during that time, I was like, I don't deserve something this good. Like, I just don't, guys. I don't deserve it. I want you to rule my life, you rule my life, you rule my life. Let me sing it! I want you to bring it all on. If you make it all wrong, then I'll make it all right. I want you to rule my life, you rule my life. But I got it, and I'm just extremely grateful that I did get to see that live. Like, Ruin My Life, literally, I swear, guys, like, that song does not get old for me. Like, I'm being legitimately honest when I say it might just turn into one of my favorite songs of all time. Like, I literally think it is just amazing. And I mean, this comes from a guy that listens to all kinds of music, from, you know, country to even jazz. Like, I've been trying to get into some jazz music too. Like, I listen to, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, just because I don't react to a lot of, like, non-mainstream stuff does not mean I don't listen to it. Yeah. That was pretty much the experience of the Don't Worry About Me tour. It was great. I met some really cool people. I mean, everybody was drunk. I mean, well, I wasn't. I'm not old enough to eat a drink, but there was a lot of, like, well, I mean, there were also a lot of teenagers there, too. I mean, there's, like, a lot of teenagers, people who look like they were in college. I mean, yeah, just a lot of youngsters, just hip, you know. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of fun. And I also managed to snag one of these. Yes. Oh, I got it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my long little story about my experience at the Don't Worry About Me tour. And it was one that I will never forget. Yeah. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll have new covers and new videos on LegendBTV real soon. And until then, see you next time. Oh, also, side note, guys, because I forgot to mention this in the video. So, the place I went to had a bathroom, right, that had one of those guys that kind of pumps the soap for you, if you will, and gives you these fancy towels. And he was like, "Here you go, sir. I will bend my every will for you." And I just thought in general that was pretty cool. Bye.